Hyundai Hybrid, Kia Hybrid, Toyota Hybrid, 100,000 miles, hybrid battery, e-CVT, dual clutch, 6-speed automatic, warranty. And mechanics everywhere saying two different things. Toyota hybrids are basically unkillable, and I don't trust Hyundai/Kia long-term. So which is it? Because at 100,000 miles, the truth is not Toyota good, Hyundai bad. The real truth is, these companies use two very different hybrid architectures, and they fail in different ways for different reasons. I'm GearHead, former mechanic, car nerd, and I don't do brand religion. I care what's actually inside the drivetrain, what actually wears out by 100K, and what costs real money when it does. So today, I'm breaking down the brutal 100,000-mile reliability truth. Hyundai/Kia hybrid versus Toyota hybrid, what lasts, what doesn't, and how to tell which one you're actually buying. Let's break this down. First, we need to stop comparing hybrids like they're all the same thing, because Toyota's hybrid feel comes from a power-split e-CVT design. Hyundai and Kia, most of the time, use a more traditional parallel hybrid layout that's bolted to a normal-looking transmission, either a 6-speed automatic on many models or a dual-clutch transmission on some models like the Nero and some Ioniq generations. That one design decision is the reason the 100K mile stories are so different. So here's the big question that keeps this whole comparison honest. Do you want the hybrid system that's engineered to be boring and low stress, or the hybrid system that's engineered to feel more like a normal car? Because both can be good, but they age differently. Alright, Part 1. Toyota's 100,000-mile reliability reality. Toyota's hybrid system, generally speaking, is built around three things that age well. Number 1. The e-CVT in Toyota hybrids is not a belt CVT. There's no belt, no pulleys, no squeeze the belt harder nonsense. It's a planetary gear set that blends power using two motor generators. Mechanically, it's gears and oil plus electric motors. And from a reliability perspective, gears and oil are about as drama-free as it gets. At 100,000 miles, a healthy Toyota hybrid transaxle is usually not even trying yet. Number 2, Toyota's hybrid engines are usually low stress. A lot of Toyota hybrids use naturally aspirated Atkinson-style engines, tuned for efficiency, not maximum punch. That tends to mean lower cylinder pressures than a small turbo engine making big torque. Less stress shows up later as fewer surprise engine bills. Number 3, Toyota has the longest real-world hybrid feedback loop. This is where it gets interesting. Toyota has been collecting hybrid failure patterns for decades across millions of cars, so a lot of their system is tuned around avoiding long-term owner pain, heat management, conservative motor control, conservative charging behavior. Now, trust moment, this doesn't mean Toyota hybrids are perfect. It means the failure points are usually not the ones people fear. So what actually shows up by 100K on Toyota hybrids? Usually it's boring stuff. 12-volt battery weakness causing weird warnings or flaky behavior, water pumps or coolant seepage on some engines as they age, suspension wear depending on roads and driving. Brakes can last longer because of regen, but certain models have more complex brake actuator systems. When those fail, it's not a cheap pads and rotors story. And here's the important part. At 100K, Toyota hybrid batteries usually aren't the headline failure. Battery aging is real, but widespread battery replacements are more commonly a higher mileage, higher age story, unless the car lived a hard, hot life or was neglected in ways that cook the pack. So Toyota's 100K truth is basically this. If it was maintained, the drivetrain is usually still in its stable, low-drama phase. Now, Hyundai/Kia hybrid 100,000-mile reliability reality. Hyundai and Kia hybrids can be genuinely good. In fact, in many cases, they drive more normal than Toyota hybrids because the transmission behavior feels familiar. Actual steps, more direct engine-to-road feel, less of the engine drones when speed climbs sensation some people hate. But that normal feel comes with a normal trade-off, more shifting hardware. Let's talk architecture. Many Hyundai/Kia hybrids are parallel hybrids. That means the engine can drive the wheels through a conventional transmission with clutches, and an electric motor assists within that layout. At 100K, the reliability question becomes less about is hybrid tech fragile and more about how many wear parts did you keep in the system. If the hybrid is paired to a traditional automatic, you've got clutch packs and valve body logic like any other automatic. If the hybrid is paired to a dual clutch transmission, now you're talking about clutch wear and actuation behavior, which is heavily affected by driving style, stop-and-go traffic, creeping, hills, aggressive starts, towing. So what's the brutal 100K truth on Hyundai/Kia hybrids? It's not that the hybrid system can't last, it's that the transmission strategy can be less tolerant of abuse than Toyota's power split e-CVT. Because Toyota doesn't shift through gears the same way, Hyundai/Kia often do. Now, to be fair, many Hyundai/Kia hybrids use 6-speed automatics that can be solid when serviced and not overheated. But solid is not the same as Toyota e-CVT boring. And this is where people get misled by warranty talk. Hyundai/Kia often offer long powertrain warranties in certain markets, like the US. That's valuable, but warranty is not the same as low failure rate. A long warranty is a safety net. It doesn't change the mechanical layout. So what actually fails or annoys owners by 100K on Hyundai/Kia hybrids? Here are the patterns that matter most in the real world. 1. Transmission behavior and service sensitivity. If it's a dual-clutch hybrid, the clutch system can be sensitive to how it was driven. Lots of creeping in traffic, lots of hill holds, lots of heat. Those things matter. If it's a traditional automatic hybrid, fluid condition and cooling matter. If it never got serviced and it lived in hot stop-and-go, the risk climbs. 2. Engine complexity, especially if the hybrid uses a turbocharged direct injection engine. Many Hyundai-Kia hybrids and SUVs use smaller turbo engines for torque. Turbo plus direct injection can be great, but it also increases heat and increases the number of things that can age poorly if maintenance is lazy. At 100K, the issues you start seeing on some turbo GDI setups across the industry, not just Hyundai and Kia, can include carbon buildup tendencies depending on design, oil consumption patterns depending on engine family and maintenance history, sensors and actuators that live in hotter environments, boost control, EGR strategies, and so on. That doesn't mean it will break. It means the system has more ways to become annoying if the previous owner did short trips, delayed oil changes, or ran it hard without care. 3. Hybrid-specific stuff is usually not the failure point, but it's not invisible. Electric motors and inverters can be very durable when kept cool and electrically healthy. The weak link is often the heat management and coolant service discipline. So, the buyer question becomes, was it maintained like a modern electrified car or treated like an old beater where you only change oil when the light screams? Now, part 3. Why Toyota usually wins the 100K reliability argument in the real world. Not because Hyundai-Kia can't build a good hybrid, but because Toyota's hybrid system removes 2 big categories of long-term drama. Category 1, shifting wear. No multi-gear shifting logic beating clutches up under weird loads, no dual clutch creeping issues, no it hunts gears and flares sometimes complaints. Category 2, driveline shock. Toyota's motors smooth torque delivery. That reduces shock loads through the gearbox components. Smooth torque is easy torque. And easy torque is what gets you those Prius taxis doing 300,000 miles. Now, part 4. The myth-busting section that saves people from bad advice. Myth 1. Hyundai and Kia hybrids are unreliable. That's too broad to be useful. The truth is, model and year matter a lot, and maintenance matters more than people want to admit. There are Hyundai and Kia hybrids that will have a clean 100K story, and there are ones that were driven in ways that punish DCTs and turbo engines. Myth 2. Toyota hybrids never break. Also false. Toyota hybrids can have expensive failures too, brake actuator systems on certain models, engine issues on certain generations, coolant system neglect, and the occasional high-voltage component issue. But Toyota's overall system design reduces the frequency of transmission-style failures that people fear most. Myth 3. The hybrid battery is the main 100K worry. Usually no. At 100K, the battery is more about how it was treated, heat, fan cleanliness, and driving patterns than some magical mileage cliff. The bigger 100K story is maintenance history, cooling health, and transmission type. Now, Part 5. The real buyer guide, how to choose at 100K miles without guessing. If you're shopping a Toyota hybrid around 100K, focus on cold start smoothness, cooling system condition and service history, brake feel consistency and warning lights, hybrid system scan for stored codes, not just the check engine light, and yes, transaxle fluid service history is a plus even though the e-CVT is robust. If you're shopping a Hyundai Kia hybrid around 100K, first identify what transmission it has. 6-speed automatic, dual clutch, that changes everything. Then focus on service history, especially oil change intervals and the correct spec oil. Transmission behavior on a long test drive, any shudder, hesitation, or odd engagement, any history of overheating or coolant loss. Scan for codes across hybrid and transmission modules, not just engine codes. And if it's a turbo hybrid SUV, pay attention to how it was used. Towing, hard commuting, lots of short trips. Because at 100K, you're not just buying a hybrid, you're buying the previous owner's habits. Now, let's land this clean. The brutal 100K mile reliability truth is this. Toyota's hybrid system is usually the safer bet if your priority is long-term, low-drama drivetrain ownership, because the power split e-CVT design eliminates a lot of the wear and shock that ages conventional transmissions. Hyundai and Kia hybrids can be great buys, sometimes with better driving feel and strong value, but the reliability outcome depends more heavily on transmission type, engine complexity, and how the car was driven and maintained. So, if someone asks which is more reliable at 100K, the most honest answer is Toyota is more consistently reliable across owners because it's more tolerant of average ownership. Hyundai and Kia can be just as reliable in the right configuration with good maintenance, but it has less margin for neglect, especially on DCTs and turbo setups. Now, if you want, next I'll do a model-by-model breakdown. Prius versus Nero, Camry hybrid versus Sonata hybrid, RAV4 hybrid versus Sportage and Tucson hybrid, and I'll tell you the specific components that actually become the money points after 100K, not the ones people argue about online. Let's keep decoding cars the way they should have been explained in the first place.